The antidote to hypocrisy, as I understand it from this passage, is integrity. Integrity. Hypocrisy comes from this Greek term describing actors in a play, wearing a mask, pretending to be someone but actually being someone else. Integrity comes from the Latin word meaning whole. You get the word integer, or whole number, from it. Well, you may be wondering, well, where did you find integrity in this passage? Well, what Jesus says in verse 20 is it's what comes out of a person that contaminates someone in God's sight. It's from the inside, from the human heart, that evil thoughts come. Sexual sins, thefts, murders, adultery, greed, evil actions, deceit, unrestrained immorality, envy, insults, arrogance, and foolishness. All these evil things come from the inside and contaminate a person in God's sight. You might be reading that list and you might say, well, those don't seem like thoughts. Those are actions. Those are evil actions, right? The point is, in the Jewish anthropology of the day, the human heart was the center of a person's life. It's where the will resided, okay? It's what directed a person's thoughts and actions. Jesus wasn't talking about our feelings. That's how we understand the heart right now, right? It's the center of our feelings, our emotions. When Jesus is talking about the heart, Jesus is talking about our posture, about our orientation, about our intention, about our will that then leads to our actions. We cannot always choose the things we feel, but what is in our control is what we will to do, what we do with those feelings, what comes out of us. It's from within that what Jesus called evil thoughts begin. It is what we choose to entertain, what we choose to consider, what we choose to give license to flourish. We may not actually commit sexual sins, however we may define them. We may not actually steal or murder or commit adultery and so on, but it is what we allow, it's what we give permission, what we actively encourage to grow and make a home in the center of our being that contaminates or makes clean in the sight of God. Now, let me be clear. This is not about how or whether God loves us. Okay? God loves you. God loves you. This is not about that. What Jesus is inviting us into is life to the full. A life lived for God and lived for others. It's a life that is whole. It's a life where all the parts are integrated, where all the parts are aligned with the goodness of God. It's all rowers rowing in the same direction. It's all the flowers and the trees in a garden stretching toward the same sun. Integrity is not a state of perfection. Okay? For Christians, integrity is a journey of integration for every one of us and every part of us as we follow and imitate Jesus.